Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's your girl, Shy Roslyn, with another episode of It Happened One Night, and we will get into it in a moment. First, we're going to take care of some housekeeping. Um, the usual copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statutes that might otherwise be infringing nonprofit, educational, or personal use. Tips in the balance in favor of fair use. This presentation is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Respectful comments are always welcome. Likes are free. Subscribers are always appreciated. Sharing is caring. So, my friends, another visit to the church drama, and I'm unofficially calling this Church Drama 102, considering my other episode um on church drama would be considered Church Drama 101. This class tonight is basically about some court cases that are hitting these YouTube streets faster than I can keep up with. But I'm going to give you a little bit of background on two of them that have been hitting the headlines, and you guys can do your own investigation from here. So, we have two court cases that are hitting tonight. Well, one has ended, the other has just begun. So, the one that just ended is Felton versus Jives. A gentleman by the name of Bishop Felton filed a defamation lawsuit back in 2023 against a YouTuber content creator that goes by the name of King Jives. The case was filed in 2023 and went to mediation. The court ordered Jives to remove videos and any interviews that he did with other content creators. He was supposed to reach out to those content creators and ask them to remove the videos. Jives was supposed to provide proof that he reached out to the other hosts that he did interviews with, and he was to also cease discussing the case or the bishop on his platform. That was September of 2024. It took a year to settle everything. Then on December 11th, 2024, Bishop Felton filed an update or a complaint that the mediation agreement was not followed. His legal team found that there were videos that were still available to the public. Some videos have been moved to private, but that's not what he wanted. He wanted them completely deleted from the channel. And Jives attempted to do a defense and appeal, rather. Excuse me. And he did not have an attorney. He did it pro se. He lost his appeal, and he was ordered not only to have the videos removed, but he was to pay Bishop Felton $50,000, and in addition to legal fees. So we shall see what happens with that. Technically, the case is now over. He has to pay, and my guess is that once Bishop Felton is paid, I guess there will be some sort of resolution filed with the court. But that's where we stand with that particular case. The other case that has hit these streets, and it's a much bigger case than Felton versus Jives, is a current case that's out there, Jakes versus Youngblood. This defamation lawsuit was filed in November of 2024. It was filed about 2 to 3 days after Bishop Jakes had a medical emergency at his church. And he filed the lawsuit in Pennsylvania. His complaint, and I'm paraphrasing, I'm doing a short version. You can go to pacer.gov to get all the details if you're looking for the particular documents that were filed by the court. But the complaint from Bishop Jakes states that Youngblood made defamatory statements asserting Jakes made advances to Youngblood over 40 years ago. Bishop Jakes is requesting a jury trial. He does not want. It appears he does not want to do mediation. He feels. I'm assuming they don't want to do mediation because he feels he's been defamed. He doesn't want to settle. He basically wants a jury trial. The complaint, and this is the biggest scandal that's going about on these YouTube streets. The complaint indicates that Youngblood approached Bishop Jakes' legal team, suggesting a several million dollars to settle and not go to court. Of course, Jakes and his legal team said, hell no, and filed a lawsuit. He denies, obviously, Youngblood's claims and is insisting that interviews he did on a certain podcast channel were defamatory. So there's a lot going on with this lawsuit. So there's some key players. Of course, Dwayne Youngblood, the person who is making these allegations against TD Jakes. Mr. 888, aka Larry Reed, whose podcast or YouTube show Dwayne Youngblood did the interviews on. He did 2 interviews, and he alleged that Bishop Jakes made advances towards him when he was a younger person. Of course, Bishop Jakes denies ever making any advances towards Dwayne Youngblood, and Mr. 888 is now possibly co-conspirator number 1 in the lawsuit because it was his podcast that Youngblood was on. He did 2 interviews, and not only that, there are allegations that Mr. 888 knew in advance that Youngblood was going to ask Bishop Jakes or demand that amount from Bishop Jakes. There was an attorney in the midst of it. Supposedly, he was representing Dwayne Youngblood, but then he didn't. So there was a bit going on with that. And finally, as of last night, the 20th of December, Dwayne Youngblood did file something with the court requesting 30 days to find an attorney. Oh, God. To find an attorney. And he said he claims in the letter that he sent to the judge that he is gathering his evidence. And I'm paraphrasing everything, y'all. Um, if you are interested in looking into these cases yourself, you can go to pacer.uscourts.gov. It is a free court case search system, and PACER stands for Public Access to Court Electronic Records. That's what it stands for. However, keep in mind, some documents have been sealed by court order, or some court cases, you have to have a professional account, which means you have a paid account and or a subscription in order to see the documents for some of the cases. So just keep that in mind. And the other person of interest is the Prince of Seeds, Bernard Jordan, who has appeared to have separated himself from Mr. 888. Of course, Mr. 888 is saying that they're still friends, but they did have a business contract. The contract has ended, but he is still friends and still has a good relationship with the Prince of Seeds. That remains to be seen, because the Prince of Seeds has not been on Larry Reed's show in quite some time, almost 2 months, which is unusual. Then there comes uh, the content creators who now hate each other. We have King Jives and Chub Rock, I like to call him. They do not get along at all. They are constantly cursing each other each time they go live. One talks about the other and they curse each other. It's kind of disgusting to listen to because there's a lot of cursing going on, but they can't stand each other. I believe that Chub Rock, this gentleman right here, Chub Rock, I call him Chub Rock. Y'all know who I'm talking about. His name is further down. And King Jives apparently were panelists on the same show, or they were partners together on a show, and they now hate each other. That's all I can figure out. And then, of course, Chub Rock is friends with the infamous William McCrae. William McCrae III. This is William McCrae before he became the William McCrae we know and don't love. But this was him back in the day before he changed. And I'll just put it that way. Then, of course, we have Mr. 888, William McCrae, Conscious TV, and Chub Rock have circled the wagons. They are going on each other's platforms. Well, not so much Chub Rock, but Mr. 888 has been going on people's platforms saying that he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know why he's named in the case. He just gave Youngblood a platform to speak. He doesn't endorse anything. He doesn't know anything about the settlement request, but he did say on one of his shows that he knew of it, didn't know the details. So they're basically circling the wagons and trying their best to hold on to their reputations in the court of public opinion. Conscious TV is kind of caught in the middle, from what I understand. He is a Larry Reed ally. but I think he has his own opinions about what's going on. He also was critical of King Jives during his lawsuit. So, yeah, they hate each other too. And then there's the rest of us. The rest of us are patiently waiting for the next filing, which actually happened before it happened after I wrote this, created this cheat sheet. But Youngblood did file something with the courts on Friday. There are 9 spaces for co-conspirators listed in Bishop Jake's filing, and the assumption is, and we'll have to wait and see, it's not official, but the assumption is Mr. 888 will be one of listed as one of the co-conspirators. Bishop Jake's team did file several hundred pages of transcripts from some of Mr. 888's show, showing that he said what he's now claiming he didn't say. So this case is going to get really interesting. And of course, Bishop Jakes denies all of the allegations. Youngblood is requesting 30 days to find an attorney. Um, and the YouTube streets were lit and jumping for the past couple of nights. It's probably going to be quiet the next few days because of the Christmas and New Year holiday. There may not be anything else filed. Um, Everyone's just waiting for the see what the judge's decision is regarding some requests that were submitted by both sides. So we shall see what happens. But I think it will be quiet for the next few days. Um, because of the holidays. So, little side note to all this. Folks have been discussing and talking about how the super chats, that's money that subscribers can give to their content creators when they're watching a show. And there's been a lot of send me a cash app, send me a cash app. If you really want to support me, send me a cash app. Um, there's been a bit of e-begging going on regarding this case. Everyone seems to be trying to gather up as much funds as possible in case they need to lawyer up. There's also another type of e-begging going on. Now, TikTok, there's a whole segment on TikTok called Beg, BEG Talk, where it's nothing but well, they were content creators, but they have no content. All they do is literally go on TikTok and beg, asking for money for hotel rooms because they're homeless, or car repairs. It's like GoFundMe's come to life, basically, but they're not as on the up and up. And it seems to be spilling over into YouTube. There is a YouTube contract that if you reach a certain number of watch hours, like if enough people watch your content and you have a certain number of subscribers, you qualify for the YouTube partnership program, in which they put ads on some of your shows and things like that. You're allowed to offer merchandise. You can collect super chats and gifts when you go live and things of that nature. Of course, some people do try to avoid that because YouTube takes 30% of the super chats. So usually people ask for contributions through Cash App instead, because then you don't lose 30%. So when does asking for support for your content, what's the difference between that and e-begging? And that is an interesting topic. I'm thinking about doing something on that topic. There are quite a few videos out there already about the TikTok beggars. So I'm looking to see if there's any on YouTube as well. And perhaps that's something I can present on in the future. But like I said, um, the other thing that seems to be going on is that there are creators or hosts with um, that may or may not have a large following. They're supporting another person that is under scrutiny, and then the person that's under scrutiny is sending um, donations and stuff to the content creators who are supporting them. So is that e-begging, or is that honest support, or are you just trying to kind of keep the person you're paying happy so that they keep talking about you? So that's something else that can be included in this e-begging controversy, I suppose. So that is what's going on so far. It's quite a bit. And again, if you're interested in looking up these cases for yourself, which I recommend, go to pacer.uscourts.gov. Make sure you got the S at the end, HTTPS. And check out some of the documents for yourself. It is quite a bit of drama going on, and I think it's gonna heat up after the new year. I really, really do. So, that being said, likes are free, sharing is caring, respectful comments are always welcome. If you're interested, you can cash at me. I am not monetized yet, but you can cash at me if you're interested. Um, and you can also check out my other playlist. I have Beat and Chat. I have a health and wellness playlist. The Eclectic Experience, which is kind of a mix of things that I have done. And I will be starting up probably first week of January. I will be talking about tax preparation topics. I did it last year. I'm going to do it again this year. I am revving up my tax prep business. I am physically well enough to promote it, so I will be doing that as well after the new year. So, without further ado, I bid you adieu, and thank you for taking a look at Church Drama 102. Like I said, comments are always welcome. Please be respectful. And I will catch you guys on the next video. If I don't get to say this before, I hope everyone has a wonderful Christmas, a very, very happy New Year. I will see you all in 2025. And that's it. Hope to see y'all soon. Peace out. Catch you on the next one.